Gather round. This is the Ticket Water Cooler, brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln.
You need to move more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here.
Yeah. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Nathan Brennan.
This is the Ticket Water Cooler here on 93.7 The Ticket. We're happy to be with you here on a Wednesday, an off day for Nebraska and fall camp as they get going tomorrow. We'll hear from Bill Bush. We'll hear from Coach Frost on Friday, but it's an off day, which means we can get back to our off-season banter lists and start arguing about this and that.
I know.
And that's what we're ready to do.
And I've got a bone to pick with you, Buck. We'll get into it.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
No,
as well.
we'll get into it in the second segment.
Bigger bone.
No, I've got a bone to pick with you. And I'm going to state my case, and it's going to make sense, damn it. All right, but we'll get into that in the second segment, so stay tuned for that. But before we do anything, before we get into our banter and whatever we want to talk about, because we got a lot that we got to talk about here today on the show, I got to ask our listeners, because I need someone smarter than myself to answer this question. So obviously that doesn't apply to anyone here at the Ticket. So I'm going to ask out and reach to the viewers. Or the listeners, excuse me, or maybe you watch us too. No, you can watch us too. Start a video stream. So YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all the good stuff.
Nate showed me a picture of himself a few years ago. Had a lot of hair. It looked nice. Yeah,
I know.
Is that by choice? Have you tried growing it out lately?
I'm not allowed to. Yeah. I'm not allowed to. I'm kind of under contract. But again, I have to ask people outside of the Ticket because everyone knows that I'm the smartest person here. So I'm going to go ahead and ask our listeners. I have still not received my license, and I'm starting to get slightly concerned. Like, when do I reach the point that I actually, because you guys need to know. So next week I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Phoenix. I know it's going to be really hot, but it's significantly cheaper that way, and I don't have that much money. So my question is, when should I be concerned that I don't have a license? Because they don't, I called, and TSA doesn't accept a temporary license. So like the sheet of paper that I use, which a bar will let you get in, interestingly enough, but I can't go through a TSA like checkpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
So I need that license. I don't really have much of a choice. And it's been 6 days since it shipped. So I do know it shipped. I went on the DMV website. I did the tracking. I did all that. It's been 6 days. I'm asking you guys for people that have been in Nebraska, who have ordered license, who have waited for it in the mail, at what point should I seriously be concerned? Because, again, I need it by Monday. I really don't have a choice. And if I don't get it by Monday, can I just get a state ID card the day of? Like, if I just went in the DMV, could I get a state ID card? Because I have no idea. I don't know how any of this works.
Somebody off the text line says you're screwed. So
what do you mean I'm screwed?
Well, it sounds like, you set up the problem that you've got, and it probably isn't going well. I don't know. You might have to drive to Phoenix.
All right. Well, Breezy says that I'm screwed. It's an incredibly long drive. Isn't it like 20 hours or something like that?
It's not 20 hours to Phoenix.
I would say by car?
Yeah, maybe 12.
Oh, it's got to be longer than 12.
Let's see. You go ahead and keep going.
Nolan says, do you have a passport you use that you can get on an airplane? I've actually never been outside of the country, so no, I don't have a passport. Also, Breezy, if that's the case, he said, okay, and he says you should have taken the pretest. This isn't what we're not going into this. I failed my driver's test. I got out of that. Okay. This is not going to be a roast on me from the text line, because I wasn't supposed to take that test to begin with. We've been over this.
But you did fail.
I did fail, but technically I never had to take it again. So that's been established. We already understand that. It's in the mail. I just don't know when I'm going to get it, and I kind of need it. And no, I don't have a passport, guys. So I don't really know what to do here. James says I would go into the DMV tomorrow. The thing is, though, I honestly, there are few. I hope the DMV doesn't sponsor the show. I don't even know if a government entity is allowed to do that.
Yeah, we're not.
So I would assume I would assume not, because I genuinely despise going to the DMV. I know that's just that's cliche. Everyone hates it, but I just get very uncomfortable in the DMV because everyone's there. They all are looking to do the same thing, and usually I go in the middle of the day, so most other people are going on their lunch break. I'm like, no one has time for this. Everyone is frustrated. Everyone's mad at something or someone. So I don't know what to do here, guys. 2 weeks. Dusty says 2 weeks. I guess then technically the 14 or 2 weeks, is that 2 business weeks or is that just 2 weeks in general, Dusty? No, I still have my old license, but they, for some reason, they did a hole punch in it. They voided it, which I guess that makes sense. But to be honest with you, I assumed I went into the DMV to grab the license and then they would void it then. So, but technically it's not a valid government ID because it's been voided. Because I have my actual license, it's just a sheet of paper. It's the temporary license that they give you. And it works everywhere, but supposedly it doesn't work at an airport.
What do you mean supposedly? You just reading that online or what?
What
did you ask the airport?
No, we asked. So I called and they said, no, we don't accept temporary license. You have to have an actual license or a government ID. So I can get like a state ID card. I just don't know how long the process is for that. Yeah. I think Omaha might do that. You guys are going to have to help me out on that one.
You might. I mean, so you still have your Virginia license. Maybe that will work if it doesn't expire. I mean, it's not like you're. I mean, it still proves who you are.
But but it doesn't. Don't they scan it?
They might. I'm not sure.
Because then if you scan it, it wouldn't work.
It is a 20-hour drive to Phoenix, by the way. You must have looked that up.
I told you.
As if you were planning.
I know, because I was
going to go to Phoenix.
I was like, I've been planning this trip, and on top of that, I've been kind of freaking out because I'm like, I don't have a license, and I don't know, because this is the thing too, is like normally I can talk my way in or out of most things.
Right.
This I don't think is one of those cases.
You might be able to get to Phoenix. I don't know about coming back.
That would be somewhat disastrous.
Does go a long way.
That is true. That is true. And I'm flying out of Grand Island. I've heard
you're getting right through Grand Island.
I've heard great things about people in Grand Island.
Haven't.
Yes, I have. I've been to the
Why
state
are you
fair.
flying out of Grand Island?
Because it's got a Legion flight.
Well, a Legion flies out of Omaha.
It's cheaper in Grand Island. Let this be a lesson to all of you. Text line.
Don't go to Grand Island.
Go to Grand Island and look up their Legion flights. They got one going to Vegas and to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And it's out of Grand Island. It's incredibly cheap. It wasn't that expensive at all. I'm not checking any bags or anything like that. That would have cost significantly more.
They have like 2 airplanes and they sputter, so good luck.
I've never flown. I've never flown a Legion.
No, I mean,
so I hope that works out okay.
It's not that bad, but it is a really small airport because it's not a Legion that's the problem. It's Grand Island's airport.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah. The reason why I don't like it is because my car died on the way back from picking up a friend from there once. So
How was that Grand Island's fault?
Well, if he would have just went to like Lincoln or Omaha, my car probably wouldn't have died on the way back.
What makes you say that?
It overheated.
It
overheated and I didn't.
I have heard though that
it overheated because it's a long. Yeah, it is not. Yeah.
Free parking.
Yeah, you and the other 12 people that are flying out there, they have like 14 spots. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. It is perfect. And I'm going to enjoy every single second.
I don't really hate Grand Island Airport. It's
James, cool. I'm not entirely understanding. James says, suck it up and give him hell, Nate. I don't know if that really applies here, James.
Well, yeah.
This is why I'm worried.
Just ask to speak to a manager. Usually that helps.
Speak to a manager? What am I going to say? Maybe I can pull the, do you know who I am?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think that's ever worked for anyone in the history of anything.
Well, you have to be somebody to do that, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work out very well for me. Tater says you would probably get a paper copy of a state ID card also, so you're screwed. Gus says you should be good. Max I've ever waited was 10 days, but if shipped, all is good. You can get a state ID same day. Gus, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Now we're going to bump up that 7 and 5 total to 9 and 3, and then you're going to be my best friend on the text line. I'll tell you that much right now. You can get a state ID the same day. Also, you might have flunked the Nebraska tooth test requirement since you're from Virginia. Okay, well, never mind, Gus. You were on the right page until you came at us Southwestern Virginianers. Because I want to make it very, very clear, because I don't know who it is. It might be John. There's someone on the text line. Cleveland Mike does it too. They always joke around that I'm from West Virginia.
You are from West Virginia.
I can't tell you guys enough that I am not from West Virginia.
You are from West Virginia.
I usually avoid the state of West Virginia at all costs.
Why is that?
It's not a great state.
How much worse can it be than literally West Virginia?
There's a big
Is there a
difference.
significant difference?
There's a significant difference.
I don't think
every single time I drive through West Virginia, I've spent at least $10 in tolls.
Oh yeah, tolls.
Tolls rub you the wrong way. Don't get me wrong, it's
especially
a beautiful
to
state.
get into West Virginia.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I can understand
because
Chicago
normally,
tolls.
If you're driving through West Virginia, you're trying to get to another state. You're not just staying in West Virginia unless you're gambling. They do have casinos in West Virginia.
Oh,
and in Virginia they don't.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was basically
like
the only reason.
Bluffs.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that was basically the reason that I would ever enter West Virginia when I was in college. We would go to the casino for like a night or something like that. But you'd end up paying like $20 in tolls to get there and back. Not worth it. Not worth it. Texter says the mail takes forever. I bet it comes by the end of the week. If not, you're screwed. Okay, guys, I really don't like you guys saying that I'm screwed. This is kind of worrying me a little bit. I'm not. I don't know if I'm feeling this. Corey and Lincoln says the Vegas flight out of Grand Island is the way to go. Easiest process ever. Texter says we've flown Allegiant out of Grand Island to Vegas 3 times. They just built a new terminal a few years ago. Shame on you, Buck. That's what I'm saying. I bet you that new terminal is nice, too. And I'm going to get some popcorn. Maybe I'll get like a water or Gatorade or something if they let me in at this point.
They have a few people behind the plane to help push it just to get it started.
Is that what it is?
And once in the air, you're pretty
sputtering
good.
in the back.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too, is like I've heard bad things about Frontier. I haven't heard the best things about them.
Yeah.
At Allegiant, for the most part, I've heard good things. Like, you get what you pay for, right? Like, it's a cheap flight.
Yeah, right.
It's a cheap flight, but you'll get there and back fine.
Somebody eats, they still hand out peanuts, but half the peanuts have been eaten on,
Exactly.
But is that really where you want to save money as a flight?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there's certain things, and Uncle Kev always says it about drinks. Pay good money and you get a good product. A flight, I mean, you're literally risking your life up there.
Well, this is the problem. Okay, yes, but let this be on the record, though. It's technically more dangerous to drive than fly, and you drive every day.
Yep.
You can't argue that, too. It's a statistic.
I know, but a plane crash is more obviously detrimental than a car crash.
Okay, yes, I understand that, but it is just more likely for you to get in a car
completely
crash.
out of your hands. I mean, you're not a pilot.
That is true, but sometimes, I mean, like some people I get behind the wheel with, I would rather just fly because I'm not great drivers. Cool and Luke says, have you seen the team plane for the movie Major League? They used that plane. Great shout out, great movie, probably a top 5 sports movie if you had to ask me. South, West Virginia ladder guy says, okay, guys, this isn't what we're doing here. This is not what this is becoming. I promise you guys that I am from the state of Virginia. I don't want to get back into this. Blacksburg, Virginia is in western portion of Virginia. Just like the song Take Me Home Country Roads is actually about the western portion of Virginia, but we're not going to get into that today because I've already been on a rant about that, and people were very indifferent towards that. Texas says, take the paper ID with the voided ID and you'll be fine. Did that last year. Bingo. Texter, you need to send us your name because you are now going to be my favorite texter on the text line. Sorry, Gus. You tried. He did say make him 8-4 so we can get on that. But when Gus took a shot at
I think that's your best bet is just be like, I'm in the middle of something, I've got the paper
I am.
ID.
And the thing is, too,
Virginia
I
ID.
might be like, listen, I can tell you the whole story of what's happened at the DMV. It's been a complete and total train wreck. Because since the beginning, it's been a complete mess. Like, the fact that this is still going on and it was like a month ago that we went over this is kind of bizarre. Like, this has been an ongoing situation for at least the past, 21 days.
It might be because you've made it public. Maybe there's a person at the DMV listening.
Yeah.
Just keep putting you
that
to the
guy
back
on
of
the
pack.
ticket, we're going to get him back. Stop slandering the DMV.
That's right.
Well, fair enough.
DMV people take their job very seriously. They do not like you talking them down. They get
probably
enough from everybody else.
That's the thing too, is I understand that normally DMV people they don't want to mess around, so I try and make their day better. I was joking around, trying to have some fun with them.
That's exactly what they want. A bunch of jokes. Bunch of guys making jokes. They're trying to get through the day.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to help him out. I made a joke because that's what I said when I took my picture. I said, get my good side so when I get pulled over.
Oh, great. Real original. Real original.
Then they won't give me a ticket.
They've never heard that one yet.
No, that's why they probably love it by then. It's make sure, because I was should I smile? Because then when I get pulled over, they won't give me a ticket. Yeah. And I thought maybe this would expedite the process of me getting a license, but certainly that wasn't the case because now here we are.
I think because you failed that test, they know that legally they can't do anything about it, but they're just thinking man, this is not a good look.
We know this guy's going on an airplane soon. We're not giving him the license.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's next level thinking if that's what they're doing. Because that's just impressive.
Also, why are you going to Phoenix in August? What are
because
you mad?
I told you because it's significantly cheaper.
Well, of course it is because
exactly
bake eggs on the sidewalk.
You heard of inflation, Bach?
Cookies.
Things are expensive.
I know.
You went to California. I can't afford that.
Oh, I know. I can't really afford any of it
See,
either.
that's what I'm saying. Because I was looking at places in Florida because there are Allegiant flights out of Omaha that go to Florida.
Oh yeah.
The flight wasn't too bad. It was a little bit more than Phoenix, obviously. but the Airbnbs were ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
It's through the roof. And then once you get there, I mean, you got groceries, might rent a car, even though I'm not 25 yet, so the insurance would be through the roof, and it's like twice as expensive to rent a car. It's just too expensive. So I was like, you know what? People don't want to go to a few places at this time of year, Phoenix being one of them.
Let's go.
I'll go to Phoenix.
Go.
Man, I'm going to a Diamondbacks game, too.
Have you been to Phoenix?
I've not been to Phoenix.
Got
any recommendations?
Try to stay out of the sun as much as you can. Everybody's got a pool there, but it's not like here where if you have a pool, you're cool. It's like everybody's got a pool because once they get off work, they don't want to. They just got to go home and get in the pool. It's awful.
We have a rooftop pool.
Oh, you do it?
Yeah, it's like a condo. It's like an Airbnb condo.
Nice.
Got a rooftop pool.
You put a lot of money into your Airbnb, so you go to Phoenix.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna get a nice tan. I'm gonna come back and be like, who's that guy? It's the guy with the Nebraska license.
Are the Diamondbacks even good this year?
The
What
Diamondbacks
game
are
are you
terrible.
going?
I think they're playing the Pirates. Just rough baseball. But see, I stand by this. 402-464-5685. Let me know if you guys agree. Those are the best games to go to because you can spend like $40 on a ticket and get right behind home plate.
Yeah, it is real cheap.
And the stadium is air conditioned, so that's going to help out too. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've got the perfect setup. I'm telling you right now. And if you guys have any recommendations for Phoenix, let me know. I know it's going to be a little hot. I'm going to try and stay out of the sun as much as possible. I think maybe like a sunrise hike we're going to go on, something like that. But this is the thing is supposedly, again, I've never been to Phoenix, so I don't know. Even though it's like 105 degrees, it's a dry heat. So it doesn't feel like it's gross. Because that's the thing,
awful.
if it's 100, 105 here, it feels disgusting because
yeah.
it's so humid. It's like sticky and you can feel it. Supposedly in Phoenix, that's not the case.
I
Again, I've never been, so I don't know.
Years ago in May, and I absolutely hated it. I was actually even thinking about moving down there because a buddy was moving down there. That's why I went down there. Yeah. And then
so it's nice.
I stayed there for like 2 to 3 days. And I was like, there's no way I'd ever move here. This is awful. I don't want to live here.
In Phoenix?
Yeah.
In May?
Because of how hot it was. Yeah.
How hot was it?
It was just really hot all the time. There's like no hiding. There's not trees. It's all palm trees.
That is true. There are no trees. There's no hiding. But that's okay. But this is what I will say.
The Arizona Cardinals Stadium. That was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Sun Devil Stadium's right there, too.
I have made a sweeping declaration, though, since I came to Nebraska. I always said I'd rather have cold than hot.
Yep.
Because I'd never really experienced, I'd experienced cold. But I've told you before, Bach, if it gets in the teens in Virginia, people freak out. If I remember I think it was my 4th or 5th grade. I was super young, and my parents, we'd moved from Illinois. So my parents were used to a lot of snow. I don't really remember this too well. There was a flurry, maybe an inch of snow, and they canceled school.
Oh, yeah.
People in Virginia don't know how to deal with snow. They don't know how to deal with cold. And I always said, okay, I'd rather have cold because cold there is 20s, 30s. Okay, I can put up with that. I came here and felt temperatures below 0. I would have hot 10 times out of 10. That was awful.
Cold is the worst.
It genuinely, because that's the thing. I don't know if it's just because I have to shave every day. My face is so bare and it hurt. I would walk outside this is actually painful. This is horrible. I hate this. So I would much rather have heat.
Did you have to do a stand-up out in the cold?
A
few times or no?
No, because there wasn't any snow.
Okay.
I'm assuming because this is what I've been told from Nebraskans is that we had a mild winter, which you guys are crazy. This was not a mild winter. I was dying out there. It was horrible. But supposedly by Nebraskan standards, it was a mild winter. So now we're going to get in turn a terrible winter this upcoming year. We're going to have a lot of snow, stuff like that. So if there's a lot of snow, I'll have to do a stand-up out there.
Yeah, that's the worst is just even having to work. No, sound pretty. I work obviously in an air conditioned.
Yeah, that's what having to work.
This is probably going to offend some people, but to even have to work 10 minutes out when it's freezing, I almost quit every job I've ever had that I've had to do.
Really?
Yeah, just
been outside?
This is not worth because especially the jobs I'm working growing up, you can get back then minimum wage $7 an hour. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to sit here for the next 2 hours
because it's so cold.
Yeah, because it's so freezing.
What jobs were you doing? What were you
just
doing?
Parking. Yeah, they sent me out in the parking lot one time.
In the cold like that?
Oh yeah.
How cold was it?
It was freezing. This is for Nebraska basketball.
Oh,
at the Boston Sports Center. And
that's why shout out to the people that do that because they are a lot tougher than we are.
They did. At least they used to get free Valentinos though.
Oh, nice. That makes it worth it. Again, if you're listening right now and you do that, shout out to you because that's cold.
Say Craig calls me a wussy. When anybody calls me a wussy or anything about cold, I say, yeah, I am. Yes, you're right. That's what I think's perfect. I have no shame in it because it does. I hate it.
The cold is bad.
The cold is bad.
I would rather.
I'm the same way with the summer heat, though. I really like air conditioning.
Well, yeah, I like air conditioning too. Well, my problem is that I just sweat a lot. I'm just a natural sweater. So, like, when I would go to Florida, whenever we go to Florida, I'd usually bring an extra shirt because I'd sweat through the first one because it's just so humid out there. Like, it's literally like a safari. Like, it's ridiculous. So I would do that, but even then, I would take that over the cold. Like, the cold, it's one of those things that you can still kind of like do things in the heat to an extent. Obviously, you have to like hop in, hop out, stuff like that. Like, take some breaks. It's not even worth going outside at all when it's 0 degrees outside.
No,
like even for a second,
like they're gonna fall off.
No, see, I don't like that, and it hurts. No, I'm not. See, I'm not a big fan of that. Texter says, I had to shovel once this winter. It was a mild winter. That's what people keep telling me.
Yeah, it was not too bad of a winter.
I understand it wasn't that bad. From a snow perspective, sure, I can get that. But, like, it was cold as hell. You guys are crazy.
Well, yeah, it happened. That happens every winter, though. I mean, that's just part of being in Nebraska.
Bill and Bennett does make a good point, too. He says, higher dew points is what makes the heat index hotter here. That is entirely correct. Brad Anderson will tell you that. Shout out to 10-11 morning team. 20 degrees feels pretty damn good after a couple negative days. Faisal, that is entirely correct. As you said, Bach, Craig called you a wussy. Pork Chalk says, I'd much rather put work out in the cold. I'd much rather put work out in the cold because I can always put more clothes on. In the heat, you can't take enough clothes off without getting in trouble. That much is very accurate in the sense that you would get in trouble. But even then, like, I put on a long sleeve sweatshirt, winter coat, and it's still cold.
Yeah,
like, you can still feel it. Like, there's no getting away from it.
No matter what, it's like something. There's like your glove doesn't quite reach your shirt or something. Like there's always something going on, and your nose is freezing. Something. You know?
There's always something. Mine's just
everything.
my cheeks. My cheeks always hurt. I don't know what that is. I guess that's just Nebraska. Dexter says the cold is fine. It's the wind that makes it brutal. Now that is one thing I can get behind because I don't think it really happened this year because once it started getting really windy, it had kind of warmed up a little bit, but that wind was terrible. I don't know what was going on with that. If that was happening and it was 0 degrees outside, I don't know what I'd do. Like, you know what? I'm taking the next week off. I'm done.
Oh, and that's the other thing. It's just
I'm done.
The roads are awful. You're driving by people on the side of the road all the time and, it's sliding everywhere. Ugh. Dirty, and then the mud streets that we have with like dirty snow when it's not like fresh snow. Ugh.
The cold, I will say though, thank God I did come just after. I came in March of 2021, so I just missed the supposed like 30 below zero.
Yeah,
that I can't even imagine. I can't wrap my mind around it being less than 30, like 30 degrees below zero. Could you even walk outside, or was it like, listen, it's not a good idea to go outside?
I wasn't here. I went for vacation.
That was a smart idea.
That's a good time.
You planned it out perfectly.
Yeah. We probably should take it. Thanks for all the takes on the hot and cold, but
and my DMV situation. I appreciate you guys helping me out because I don't know what's going on.
We will talk some Husker football when we come back. Again, it's an off day as far as fall camp goes, so not so much breaking news there. Though there is some breaking news in the NFL we'll get to, as well as Nebraska's schedule. I thought Sam McEwen wrote an interesting article about some of the most difficult games this season. Has a few middling Big Ten West teams there, what we traditionally view as middling Big Ten West teams near the top. So we'll talk about that coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Bagels and Joe is in full summer mode. They'll add cold foam to the top of any iced coffee. Plus, they now have a Joe Coffee Club. Get unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per month. And don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches. Bagels and Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
Warhorse Casino is bringing winning opportunities to Lincoln. Get in on the action at our next job fair, Tuesday, August 9th from 3 to 7 at the RBC event. We are hiring trailblazers in every department: beverage servers, slot, custodial, security, and more. Every employee is treated like family, and every role is essential in creating a one-of-a-kind experience. For information on openings and job fairs, go to warhorsecasino.com.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that, options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
The Salt Dogs are back with the best lineup for a night out in Lincoln, including Fireworks Fridays. Every weekend homestand at Haymarket Park begins with baseball and post-game fireworks set to your favorite music. Baseball, a big light show, and the best view in town. There's no better place to be on a summer night in Lincoln. Lead off your weekend the right way with Fireworks Fridays. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Local broadcasters make a difference in their communities every day. You can learn more about becoming a broadcaster by attending the Lincoln Area Broadcasters Career Fair with 93.7 The Ticket on Tuesday, August 9th at the Embassy Suites in Lincoln. Learn more about the numerous exciting jobs in broadcasting available right now here in town, on the air and behind the scenes. Bring your resume and be ready to apply. Visit the 93.7 The Ticket booth at the Lincoln Area Broadcasters Job Fair Tuesday, August 9th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Embassy Suites in Lincoln. We'll see you there.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we opened the show saying that we each had a beef with one another. This is my beef with Nate. Nate thinks that he can play this and have it not remind anybody of Wisconsin.
We're taking it back. No,
this is like one of the biggest traditions in college football.
We're taking it back.
Around at Camp Randall.
What do you think? Wisconsin was the first school to invent playing jump around at a football game?
This is ridiculous.
They
claimed it though.
This is insanity. Nope. This is where I draw the line.
That's like playing Inter Salmon and saying that doesn't remind me of Virginia Tech.
It's true, it does. But no, this is where I draw the line because one, it's in the third quarter, so not everyone's even staying until the third quarter because it's Wisconsin football and they've only scored 3 points going into the fourth quarter to begin with, so no one cares anymore.
That's literally what they stay for.
We're taking it back
after that.
I know they do. We're taking it back.
You can't take it back.
We're taking it back.
Certainly not as just
that's played at every
program.
Single stadium in college football, NFL. Hell, you can throw baseball into this madness. Hockey games. It's played everywhere. We're taking it back. I'm tired of associating that with Wisconsin. That song is going to get you hyped whether you like Wisconsin or not.
All right, guys. You let us know on the text line whether we're going to keep that tomorrow or not. We might keep that as a rejoin. We might not. For me, it reminds me of Wisconsin. I don't want to hear it. for Nate. He thinks he can claim it back. So let us
We're
know.
taking it back.
Out of Lincoln Hotline, 402-464-5685. We'll leave it up to you guys because I don't want you guys to keep being reminded of Wisconsin when we're playing this, when we have our show on every day.
No, I don't want you guys to.
Football.
But I was listening to this song at the gym when I was training to beat Jay Foreman in a bench press contest.
Jay Foreman doesn't even know about this.
He will Thursday. Don't worry about it. He'll know by tomorrow afternoon. But I decided while I was training for my bench press contest, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this a rejoin because this song gets you. I don't care if you're a Wisconsin fan or not. That song gets you amped. It has to.
It's a good song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
House of Pain. Let's go.
Yeah.
That song should get you juiced.
Just reminds me of the Badgers beating Nebraska's ass every day.
We're taking it back. We're taking it back, Bach.
Yeah.
Andrew gets it. He says, Nate's on the
400
right
yards
track.
and stuff.
Take it back. Someone's got to take it back.
I just don't think that we can do it. I just don't think that we have the power. Nebraska's got their own stuff that they're trying
You know what
to do.
we're really
That
going to
light
– and
show
you
that
know
they're
what?
gonna put
Okay, I'll give you this. I'll play this on the ticket when Nebraska beats Wisconsin by 20.
Okay.
Then we take it back.
Then you can
We're
take it
taking
back.
We're taking it back.
You got to take it back on the field, though.
I know. Well, that's part of the problem.
Do you like? I don't know if you've heard too much about this over the last year and a half. It's probably died down a little bit with any expectation of ever beating Wisconsin. The battle for red. Would you like an idea where Nebraska, Wisconsin play? The winner wears red, regardless who the home team is the next season.
Interesting. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Unfortunately for Nebraska, they'd be wearing a lot of white. So
Right, but they can wear their all whites, which look great.
that is fresh. But now, I mean, I like the idea, but unfortunately,
But they wouldn't have worn red for.
Yeah, that's the thing is Nebraska's going to have to start winning a few. It starts this year. I'm not worried. I'm telling you, this Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West. I'm sick and tired of hearing it.
They're the default team. I'll admit,
I'm sick of it.
I'm not as high as Wisconsin winning this year as I usually am, but I think that's more to do with the competition around them. The Minnesotas, the Purdue's, the Iowas. Feels
Graham
pretty good.
Graham Mertz.
Well,
that's what it comes down to. If your quarterback is Graham Mertz, I'm not going to be buying.
I
your
just
team.
don't like
Sorry.
their first-year offensive coordinator has never been an offensive coordinator.
That
before.
doesn't make any sense to me either.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Wisconsin.
That defense is probably going to be top 10 defense once again, though.
So is Nebraska.
Nick Herbig coming back. Nebraska's got a long way to go. We talked about that the other day about being
We
a
did.
top 10 defense.
We did.
I'm not
Caleb
doubting the
Tanner wants
Black
it.
Shirts. I love the idea. I got to tell you, though, you need playmakers. You need dudes. You don't just happen to be a top 10 defense. You've got to,
Tell me
you gotta
Luke
be some
Reimer
studs.
isn't a dude.
I'm saying there's a few
O'Shawn
of them.
Mathis isn't a dude. Get out of here.
I'm not.
Quentin Newsom. You can throw Quentin Newsom on that, too.
Uh,
DB1, baby.
When I'm
DB1.
talking about dudes, I'm talking about all Big Ten performers, guys that could be in the All-American category. I like Luke Reimer. I've been talking all offseason about somebody pay attention to this.
No,
man.
you're right.
He's a tackle machine.
He does it
and
in
he's not getting
silence.
Any offseason hype.
Garrett Nelson's that dude.
But these guys are all potentially those dudes, and that's why we want to see it turn the corner.
Well,
to
Luke
be that,
Reimer
right?
is, I would say, already basically.
Right, but I mean, to be a top 10 defense, you can't just be like, I like a few of our guys. No, they have to have like legit first and second, third round picks or all Big Ten performers to be that level of defense. It's tough competition. The other way to do it though is to play the Big Ten West, where you can play Northwestern, and Illinois, and team Minnesota. And
Start
Iowa
out the
won't try to
season
score all that much.
3-0 and give up 10 points a game. That would be a good start.
At
Easier
some
said
point,
than
they'll
done.
probably be in the top 10 in something. I hope.
That would be nice. Ryan from Nashville says, "I'm sick of it too, but how can you trust Nebraska?" This is even outside of Nebraska, Ryan. I'll take just in general. I'm not buying Wisconsin to win the Big Ten West. I'm sick of it. And for some reason, I saw the one poll that they did. They had 32 first place votes. That they had almost
they're the default Big
almost
Ten West winner every
unanimously.
year.
They were decided to win the Big Ten West. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, why is it ridiculous? They've got a program that's been up there contending for the division for the last 20
You got
years.
a first-year offensive coordinator, and your quarterback is Graham Mertz.
You got the best running back in the league.
I'll give you that.
And he's
That
a
is
man
fair.
this year. As a boy last year.
He was because he's 18
He's
now.
18
isn't he?
now, yeah.
God, isn't that crazy? He ran for 200 yards against Nebraska at 17 years old.
Yeah, not that crazy because a lot of people run for 200 yards against Nebraska and Wisconsin.
Okay, well, not at 17 years old.
Just not at
He's a
17
child.
years old. Yeah, that's the difference. What is their Wisconsin defensive coordinator? Is that Rudolph? As long as they've got their, because they've had a good. It's Jim Leonard. They've had a good run of defensive coordinators there. As long as Jim Leonard's there, I think Wisconsin's pretty stable. And then I know Graham Mertz isn't very good.
Graham Mertz is terrible.
Neither has been anybody since Russell Wilson or before Russell Wilson.
They had
still find a way to
Hornibrook.
win. Yeah, that's what I mean. They've got like
What do you mean?
Alex Hornibrook is is mediocre at best.
You had who was the guy that transferred to Notre Dame?
Jack Cohn.
Jack Cohn.
Yeah. That, again, if your example of better guard,
those guys, both of them are
Alex
significantly better than Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz went what, like
struggled.
11 straight games without a touchdown pass?
Yeah.
Like something basically unprecedented number for a team that wins more than they lose. I'm telling you, Nebraska.
They kicked Jack Cohn out of Madison because of it.
I know. I'm telling you, Nebraska's going to turn some heads when they beat the hell out of Wisconsin.
Well, they better. There's like
I'll tell you right now, Wisconsin's overrated. Wisconsin is overrated this year. When their offense can only put up 17 points a game, then we can have this discussion. They're not going to be able to score. They're not going to be able to score.
You just don't. You think that man-child or running backs just not going to be able to get anything done?
I mean, you have
one
running back.
Chaz Malusi was
okay.
On
You
pace
got
for the
it.
same
You got
thing.
a couple running
you
backs.
Got a duel of
Nebraska's got a couple running backs too.
Not those guys.
They don't have those guys. But like,
Allen.
you cannot tell me that a couple running backs are gonna change your entire offense.
That's Wisconsin. It doesn't have to change anything. That's who Wisconsin is. That's who they've been.
Telling you. When Nebraska
top
goes
10
up,
defense
and
two
not
running
even
backs,
Nebraska. We'll take Nebraska out of this.
Fine.
You score 10. If you could get up 10, 17 nothing against Wisconsin, they're done.
You're out of your mind.
What are you gonna do?
You haven't seen it, Nate. They were up 17-3, and guess what happened? Guess what happened last time they were up 17-3 on Wisconsin?
All right. Well, okay.
405 yards.
Nebraska is a bad example. I'm talking about just generally when we're talking about the Big Ten West because they're predicted to win the Big Ten West.
I've heard the same thing.
Compared to everyone else.
I've heard the same thing about Iowa. Iowa's got to play at their pace or they're not going to beat you. What were they up against Iowa last year?
What's that?
What was Nebraska up against Iowa last year?
Iowa, okay, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Redshirt freshman.
That's fine, but
redshirt freshman.
Tell me all you want about.
I'm going to use that as an excuse, and I'm going to take that to the grave.
Tell me all you want about Wisconsin and Iowa being overrated. They're not flashy. Don't get me wrong, but if you lose 8 or 7 straight to them, you got to tip of the cap and just say, okay, they've got our number. And until I've seen it, till you beat them, then you can't just talk trash. I'm going to talk because you think this is the year.
I'm going to talk trash the same way that I talk trash about Iowa. Iowa was the second-ranked team. They came out with a playoff ranking, and they did a bracket of teams making the playoffs, and freaking Iowa was on that graphic. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a joke, and they're going to do the same thing with Wisconsin this year.
Iowa destroyed Brock Purdy and Michael Penix Jr. to get to that level. Those are two highly respected preseason top 20 teams, and Michael Penix Jr. was like a top big prediction to be Big Ten Player of the Year at this time going into that
How'd
season.
that work out for you?
It didn't work out well. You know why? Iowa picked him off 4 times.
Okay, Iowa.
As part of their nation-leading interception.
So we're crediting Iowa for that. I'm not crediting Iowa for anything.
Yeah, they broke Michael Penix and they broke Brock Purdy.
My God.
Happened twice.
Iowa should have lost to a redshirt freshman is what I'm telling you right now. Iowa
is done this, should have done that.
I'm telling you what, I won't do this to Wisconsin because I respect Wisconsin. I think that they're a well-run program. They're a good football team. I'm using the F word for Iowa, and I'm going to do it again this year. Fraudulent.
Well, if you
want
to put them in the top 5, yeah, they're fraudulent. But as far as being a tough place to go play and winning Kinnick,
I'll give you that.
That's a tough deal.
I'll give you that.
By the way, that game is sold out. I mentioned it yesterday. Iowa has sold out all their games except for Nebraska somehow. That was crazy. Well, now that's no longer there. So if you're looking for your Nebraska-Iowa tickets, you got to go in the secondary market now. You can't buy them from the
Did they sell out after yesterday?
Oh, yeah, they sold out.
Oh, wow.
So and it's the first time, by the way, I was excited about this team. This is the first time since 2011 Iowa has sold out all their home games.
Well, they have a lot of returning starters, if I remember correctly. I think maybe the most in the Big Ten.
I'm not sure about that. They got a lot coming back. Their defense is loaded. I mean, it's Iowa. It's the same thing you always expect, But they got to get that running game going because that's been something that's plagued them the last couple of years, as opposed to previous kind of the brand we think about Iowa and Wisconsin, the Big Ten West. You kind of group them. Iowa's not been able to get that running game going the last couple of years, so they're gonna have to turn their attention toward that. But Brian Ferentz in charge of the quarterbacks. I don't expect that to get any better anytime soon. But like I said the other day, Kirk Ferentz was at practice with the Patriots. So You don't want to see that.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't want to see him getting any of the rub off Coach Belichick there. Speaking of the NFL, we did want to mention this too. The NFL is appealing the decision to suspend Deshaun Watson 6 games. Some league sources say the NFL will seek the entire season to suspend for Deshaun Watson, and it's a mess. It's a mess of a situation.
It's a disaster.
I'm at least glad that the NFL, who has a reputation now, because it's been around long enough. We've seen these suspensions, how light they are in some of these cases. They have a reputation of coming down light, and now they're fighting the fight to get Deshaun Watson suspended a little bit longer, or hopefully the entire season is what they said there. I don't know if it's going to be that way. You're going to have a battle now between the NFL and the NFLPA, which is why I'm somewhat surprised to see this, is because the NFL might have been better off, or felt better off at least, just saying, okay, this is what the judge said, and then just sliding it off the side, because this is an ugly stain on the NFL. As long as this is in the news cycle, it'll be in the news cycle longer, the more they try to get this a thing going and to extend this thing. So hats off to the NFL for not protecting the shield in this case, because they usually do, and they'll just, so I'm a little bit surprised to see they're trying to go after Deshaun Watson a little bit longer. But again, it's really hard because he's not getting charged with anything criminally. So it just kind of, that's where it's hard to come down on. But clearly there seems to be some sort of issues. At least I like that. At least the judge saying you got to stick to the same massage people that the team provides. Like, there's no more outsourcing this, because you've been, whether these things are true or not, there's just too much piled against you at this point. You can't go out there and seek more, a different massage therapist.
Well, this is the problem that it comes down to. Me and Strick talked about this earlier this week. Is that the NFL, your hands are tied. Like, this is out in the open. It's a disastrous situation, no matter which way you slice it. Whether he's got a 6-game suspension or a full season, like it's a bad look in its entirety. Like it's a horrible look for the NFL. And like you said, there's no criminal charges against Deshaun Watson, so that way it kind of pins you against the wall. Like there's so little that there was do.
It'd be suspended without a doubt.
And it'd be probably the whole season, and there wouldn't really be a discussion. But that's the caveat to it, and it's just a bad look. It's just a horrible look all around, and there's no really right way to go about this, because it's a mess. Like, it's a complete and total mess. So I think they're doing the right thing in appealing. I don't know if it's going to amount to anything, because again, like you said, the judge ruled this. There's no criminal charges against him. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to lead to a full suspension. And I think another issue out of all of this is that it rubs people the wrong way, because he got a fully guaranteed contract worth over $200 million. That's the slimy part about all of it, is like, if it's one thing if you're still under contract with the Texans, like you're still part of the roster, whatever it may be, but like, you're getting over $200 million fully guaranteed. It's just a bad look.
And that's why I don't know if he's going to be, kind of forgiven in the public light for this, because, usually you do get to this point, even with Kareem Hunt, I suppose, on his own team, is like, well, it's awful what he did, but second chances, he's on another team. For some reason, we all are able, well, if they're on a different team, at least it's a fresh start and second chances and all that. But with that contract situation, it's like,
I don't know if he's going to get the benefit.
I don't think he gets the second chance or the new, fresh coat of paint type of feel to it.
No.
As it
now with that
and
contract,
it's still ongoing. That's the other thing, is it's still ongoing. And then the same thing with the Cleveland Browns, where I've seen fans jump off, like lifelong fans, saying, I just can't support this anymore. This is not the quality. This isn't the type of people I want to cheer for.
Right.
And, I kind of think the same thing. Like, Cleveland usually at least has this. They're not like the Cubs or the Red Sox, or they're lovable losers quite, but when they started winning, you kind of feel, good. You're like, hey, that's the kind of a team that I don't typically see. That's a good feel-good story. Now, I myself, I don't want to see any success.
No, they're basically becoming the villains without having any type of success to reach that status.
Yeah.
Like, the Browns have done essentially nothing outside of winning one playoff game in the past, 15 years? And that's the thing, too, is Baker Mayfield, for what it's worth, I would say more people probably, very controversial, and you have people that love him and hate him, but I would say for the most part, people like Baker Mayfield. He's a good story. He was a walk-on, won the Heisman, first overall pick, still has his haters and doubters, and you go from that to a guy that gets a fully guaranteed contract, one of the highest paid players in the entire league, and is only suspended 6 games. Like, it's just a disaster.
Well,
it's a train.
Well, I mean, the tough part about the story too is that Deshaun Watson is clearly a significant upgrade over Baker Mayfield.
Exactly.
I do like Baker Mayfield, but I don't have any illusions of him becoming Tom Brady overnight. Deshaun Watson, last time we saw him, he's a top 10 type quarterback, maybe top 5 at certain points in his career. And he did take the year off. Should that play into anything? I mean, because you kind of do that like sanctions by the NCAA. Well, self-imposed sanctions, maybe the NCAA come light on you. He didn't take the year off, so maybe that plays into it. I don't think so, because it was decided by Deshaun Watson in the Texans. This wasn't, the NFL didn't find him or make sure that he was suspended for those games. So I don't think they're coming down light on him in that way, but clearly they're not. I mean, the NFL's coming after this 6-game suspension, so we'll kind of see how that turns around. We'll take a quick break here and wrap things up here on the Ticket Water Cooler. Like we mentioned, we previewed or talked a little bit about that Sam article. I wanted to get to that, not to expose everything. You got to go read Sam McEwen. I'm just going to read off his article here. But I thought there was a few interesting points there. We'll wrap up with that coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But you know, State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
The Salt Dogs are back with the best lineup for a night out in Lincoln, including Fireworks Fridays. Every weekend homestand at Haymarket Park begins with baseball and post-game fireworks set to your favorite music. Baseball, a big light show, and the best view in town? There's no better place to be on a summer night in Lincoln. Lead off your weekend the right way with Fireworks Fridays. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an upgrade. But finding a way wasn't so simple. And then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. I earned cash for the study and was able to make those much-needed upgrades. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at helpresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's been a great start here to the year as 2022 new inventory continues to roll in. Our pre-owned lot remains full, and we are selling at a record pace. I was just down at Koppel talking about a new order for myself, and they let me know I can actually start ordering a 2023 here later this spring. So stop on in to get your new 2022, your pre-owned vehicle, or maybe talk about ordering here for 2023. Check them out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Your Lincoln forecast today, a few showers and storms are possible early this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mostly sunny skies this afternoon. We'll see an afternoon high of around 96. Tonight, mostly clear skies in the forecast, a little bit cooler with the low of around 65. And tomorrow, sunny skies are expected throughout the day with the high of around 95. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Gus Cottle. The Millard South Patriots defeated Creighton Prep 4-3 to win their first American Legion Baseball State Tournament since 1988. After losing to Creighton Prep 8-0 and 14-0 during the A1 District Tournament, Millard South was able to meet Creighton Prep again in the state championship and claim the title. Millard South advances to the Central Plains Regional next week as the Nebraska champion. The runner-up, Creighton Prep, will also compete in the regional in Rapid City, South Dakota. Peyton Ingle and Drew Miller both led Waverly to a large 17-9 win over Ogallala to claim the Class B Legion State Baseball Tournament. Ingle went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs and a pair of extra base hits, while Miller had 3 hits and drove in 4. Waverly tallied 15 hits in total. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You guys are ready for football. You're ready for a fight. We always have a fight in the studio here. We're talking about Wisconsin football and whether you should respect
Because
them or not.
you defend Wisconsin and Iowa and the SEC. Us Nebraska fans around here are fed up, Buck.
You are nowhere
We're sick of
near
it.
the Nebraska fan. I
We're
am.
sick of it.
You're just a rental Nebraska
We're
fan.
done
I was
with
born
it.
and bred a Nebraska fan, and I'm not sick, and I'm just as sick and tired of it as anybody else. But that's the problem. I don't have some fake optimism or hope that it's all going to change or think that they're just going to suck all of a sudden. Nebraska's got to earn it. Nebraska's got to get back to it. So when you lose 8 straight or 7 straight to a rival, I'm not just going to say, well, yeah, they suck this year. This is the year. No, Nebraska's got to elevate to that level and go and beat that team. But if you are ready for fights in football, Saints' first-round pick, rookie offensive lineman Trevor Penning, has been kicked out of OTAs today after starting a fight at practice for 3 consecutive days.
Well, that's something,
Yeah.
I guess.
Keep an eye out for Trevor Penning. We'll see how long he sticks around. Now he's from Northern Iowa. You remember that was kind of maybe a surprise pick, or
Yeah.
just kind of like notable that in Northern Iowa, 6'7", 330 pounds. Maybe that's part of it. Is people are picking on him, telling him where he's from, or maybe he's just shout out to Sip, who wrote a great article today on Richie Incognito. Maybe he's just got some incognito on him.
Maybe.
So go to On3 and check that out if you want to see Sip's kind of recollection of, because they had Barney Cotton actually on this morning on early break. So check that out as well. In talking about Richie on Incognito, you talk about a guy with a mean streak. Probably too much of a mean streak at times, but still, I mean, worked well for him throughout his career there. And I did want to mention this too, because I've been teasing a little bit. Sam McEwen, also a very good article from the Omaha World Herald, an annual ranking of Nebraska's games from easiest to hardest. And it just kind of caught me by surprise. So the hardest games, he's got 2 of the top 3, not Wisconsin, not Iowa, but actually Purdue and Minnesota. He's got Michigan as well in the top 3. I won't give it up the rest of the list. You got to go read it. If you're surprised, where's Oklahoma? Where's Wisconsin? Where's Iowa? Who's the easiest game? I'll tease it. I'll tease you this. It's not the FCS game. So kind of interesting article there. But what do you kind of think about Purdue and Minnesota? Again, teams we're arguing here right here about Wisconsin and Iowa because those are teams that repetitively beat Nebraska. But that's again why I don't pick Wisconsin maybe right out of the gate for this season. Is there's a lot of depth here in the Big Ten. I mean, you got to give PJ Fleck a lot of credit for what he's done building that program. They kind of have to restock the lines. Everything else is in place there. And then you got AOC out there flinging the ball around for Purdue and Jeff Brom. I mean, those are some pretty darn good 9-win football teams last year. Would you consider putting them in the top 3 of the toughest games for Nebraska this year?
I think much like many other things, especially in college football, it's timing. Because you look at Nebraska's schedule, outside of Oklahoma, which is a home game, I would say Purdue's probably your first real test, right? I mean, a lot of us are saying Nebraska should be 4-1. Some of us saying they should be 5-0 heading into that Purdue game, and you're going on the road. For what it's worth, Bach, I hate agreeing with you in this sense, but Aiden O'Connell he's no slouch. He was picked preseason second team All Big Ten for a reason. Purdue's a 9-win football team. It's going to be a test, and you're going to be going on the road. And we've talked about it too. That Minnesota game, that starts your mean streak, your tough stretch. If it were up to me, I'd already have the 6 games in the bowl game locked in before you go into that Minnesota game. And a lot of fans probably would agree with that. So I think both of them are just based off of timing and where the team sits at when you play them.
Yeah, and just, it's been tough. I mean, you just look at the coaching mismatches as it's been playing out so far in the Big Ten West. We continue to say, you haven't beaten Ferentz, you haven't beaten Chris, but PJ Fleck's got the better of you. Jeff Brom's been getting the better of you. Still fighting 50-50 with Pat Fitzgerald, so maybe that's where.
Let's go.
Good. By the way, lack of respect for Brett Bielema. I've been seeing not a lot of people predicting Illinois to take a jump. I'm not necessarily, think that they've got the greatest roster, but I'm a big buyer.
Bielema.
Big buyer in Burke.
I know you are.
We'll see how that goes. I love the Big Ten West. We'll take a quick break here on Ticket Water Cooler. We'll come to a close, but on the block with Strick and Bach, Eric Strickland will join us next here on 93.7 The Ticket.
My computer was a dinosaur, and our TV, well, let's just say it was definitely time for an